agents who killed the person in Maine yesterday were reportedly not using body-worn cameras, and that's despite DHS officials coming to Congress and repeatedly saying over the last few months that they want to expand body camera usage. Does there need to be accountability on DHS from Congress here?
I don't know anything about this event. Okay, I was a little busy yesterday, so I'm going to reserve judgment. I know that there was a tragic shooting, and I'm not going to comment on it because I don't know. And you guys can mock me for not knowing that. I worked about 22 hours in the last few days, and I did not get the briefing on that yet. I will this morning.
I'm not going to mock you for it, Mike. I'm just going to call you a liar because that's what you are. You know exactly what happened yesterday. You know what happened in Minneapolis. You understand that un-American actions are continuing to accelerate across America while Susan Collins votes for $70 billion in ICE funding that has no reforms attached to it. Americans being gunned down in the streets of Minneapolis by masked men. That's un-American. You have fathers, husbands, grandfathers being gunned down in Houston, gunned down in the street for no reason in Biddleford, Maine, and the killers whisked away. No justice, no investigations, no real investigations allowed by local authorities who have seen their city streets being turned into killing zones. And you don't know about that, Mike? What do you know about? You know about, oh my God, you know about $350 billion that you say is needed to fight communism in America? Do you know how dangerous you sound, Mike? I saw conservative commentators who are still conservative, unlike you, unlike the president, unlike so many other Republicans that I used to work with in Congress, saying every conservative should be afraid when a Speaker of the House says we want to use $350 billion against Americans. There's people you call communists because the income disparity between the richest Americans and the poorest Americans continue to grow. Now let's think now. Look, that's real commie thinking. No, actually, it was Alan Greenspan himself who said the greatest threat to American capitalism is income disparity. The kind of income disparity that you continue to generate. Are you un-American, Mike? Are Republicans that continue to do what Alan Greenspan said for a decade was the greatest risk to American democracy and American capitalism? You un-American? Are they un-American? And as far as immigrants go, I know you don't really know because you didn't know what happened yesterday, so you probably don't know that there was a guy named Ronald Wilson Reagan who was the 40th president of the United States, and he used his farewell speech to America talking about the importance of immigrants coming to this country, like the fathers, like the sons, like the husbands, like the workers that you're allowing to be gunned down by ICE. Time and time again in American streets. And what happens afterwards? The killers are whisked away. The killers are whisked away, and they're protected from justice, just like King George III would surely protect royal troops that gunned down patriots 250 years ago. I want to know, what does Ken Paxton think about a Hispanic father, a Hispanic grandfather, a man who'd been in America for over 30 years, misidentified and shot to death in the street of Houston? What does Ken Paxton think about that? What does Susan Collins say? I'm sure she's disturbed. Or what's her word? What does she say? I'm concerned. Maybe it's concerned.
They're all concerned.
I'm sure she's concerned.
I would be concerned
about what happened in the streets of Maine. A sweet, kind, young man that community members said was so kind, so loving, getting gunned down
in front of his little girl
through a car window in front of his family. Where's that killer? What justice for that killer? What justice for that killer? What justice for the men and women who continue to let American streets